Liam had everything a man could dream of. Cars that cost more than some houses, a mansion that stretched across acres, and a bank account that made him untouchable. Yet, sitting alone in his glass-walled office, he felt an emptiness that money could not fill. Friends around him were either after his wealth or afraid of it. Liam longed for something real, something honest. That's when he came up with an unusual plan. He would leave his golden life behind, at least for a little while, and live as a poor man in a small town. He packed a small bag with simple clothes, leaving his expensive watch and jewelry behind. He took only what he needed to blend in, choosing to walk among people who had no idea about his fortune. Liam wanted to see the world through a different lens, one that was not tinted by luxury and privilege. The town was small and quiet, filled with old brick buildings and narrow streets. Liam could feel a change in the air the moment he arrived. It smelled of freshly baked bread and wet earth after a light rain. He noticed children running barefoot, laughing without a care, and elderly neighbors sitting outside their homes, chatting and watching the world go by. It was a simple life, something Liam had never truly experienced. As he wandered through the town, Liam spotted a small house with a tidy garden and a wooden porch. On the porch, a woman was placing fresh flowers in a vase, and a little girl played nearby, holding a small basket of apples. Liam watched as the woman, Emma, smiled at the girl, Ava, and then waved to an elderly neighbor passing by. There was a warmth in her eyes that seemed to light up the street. Liam felt an unfamiliar tug in his chest, curiosity mixed with admiration. He walked closer, pretending to look for a place to sit, and noticed Emma offering the neighbor some bread. The neighbor smiled, touched by her generosity, and Liam felt a strange ache in his heart. It was not just the act of kindness, it was the simplicity and the authenticity that moved him. He realized he had never seen such unselfish care in his life. Liam decided to test himself. He entered a small grocery store, trying to act casual as he picked up basic items. But as he reached the counter, he fumbled with the coins in his pocket, realizing he barely knew how to manage small sums. The cashier, a kind middle-aged man named Henry, laughed softly and helped him count the coins. Liam felt a mix of embarrassment and amusement. The feeling was strange, but also oddly liberating. As Liam stepped out, he saw Emma and Ava walking down the street, holding hands. A little boy had dropped his ball, and without hesitation, Ava ran to return it to him. Emma smiled, and Liam could not take his eyes off them. There was a natural kindness in them, something that no amount of wealth could buy. Determined to learn more, Liam followed them from a distance over the next few days. He watched as Emma helped a struggling mother carry groceries and gave water to a thirsty stray dog. He saw Ava comfort a crying child and share her sandwich with someone who had none. Every action left a mark on Liam. His heart, which had been closed off for so long, began to feel warmth and empathy he did not know existed. One rainy afternoon, Liam saw Emma slip and almost fall on the wet pavement. Without thinking, he rushed to her aid. She looked at him with surprise, then gratitude, as he steadied her. "Thank you," she said softly. That small word, delivered with genuine warmth, stayed with Liam longer than any business deal or luxury purchase ever had. That night, Liam sat on the steps of an empty park, thinking about the day. He had met Emma and Ava, yet they had no idea who he really was. They treated him as a stranger, a fellow human, and in their eyes, he felt accepted in a way he never had among the wealthy. For the first time, he realized that life's true value was not in what you had, but in what you gave and received from the heart. The plan to disguise himself had started as a mere experiment, a way to escape his own loneliness. But now, it had become something more. Liam wanted to stay, to learn, and perhaps, just perhaps, to become a better person. And as he watched Emma tuck Ava into bed through a lit window of their small house, he knew that his journey had just begun. Something inside him had shifted, and he could feel the beginning of a change that no fortune could ever buy. The streets were quiet, the town calm, but Liam's mind was full of questions, emotions, and an unfamiliar hope. He did not yet know how the story would unfold, but one thing was certain: he had discovered a world of genuine kindness, and it had found its way into his heart. Liam had been living quietly in the town for a few days, learning the rhythm of ordinary life. Every morning, he would wake up early, dress in his simple clothes, and walk through the streets, observing the people around him. But nothing had prepared him for the moment when he truly encountered Emma and Ava's kindness in a way that would touch him deeply. One sunny afternoon, Liam decided to go to the local grocery store to pick up a few items. He was still awkward with money, fumbling with coins and bills, but he wanted to do it himself. As he reached the counter, a small mishap occurred. A jar slipped from his bag and shattered on the floor. The sound echoed in the quiet store, and Liam froze, embarrassed. Shoppers turned to look, and Liam could feel the heat rising in his cheeks. Before he could gather the pieces, Emma appeared. She had been shopping nearby and saw the accident. Without hesitation, she rushed over and knelt beside him. "It's okay," she said gently. "Don't worry about it." Liam was stunned. No one had ever reacted with such calm and compassion. He bent down to pick up the pieces, but Emma smiled and said, "I'll help. You just take a breath." Ava, holding a small basket, helped as well, carefully placing the broken jar fragments into a bag. Liam felt a warmth spreading through him, something he had never experienced in his life of luxury. After the store incident, Emma invited Liam and Ava to walk with her to the community park. As they strolled, they passed an elderly man sitting alone on a bench. Without thinking, Emma handed him a sandwich and a bottle of water. Ava waved and said, "Here, you can have some of my apples too." Liam watched silently, amazed at how naturally they cared for others. He felt like an invisible wall around his heart had begun to crack. During the walk, Emma spoke to Liam for the first time. "You're new here, aren't you?" she asked with a kind smile. Liam hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. "Yes, I'm just visiting for a while," he said. The truth about his wealth was a secret he kept buried. Emma nodded, not pressing further, but her eyes seemed to study him, searching for something deeper. The next few days were filled with small lessons. Liam saw Emma helping a mother carry heavy bags, donating clothes to families in need, and comforting children with scraped knees. Ava would run along, helping wherever she could, her laughter brightening even the dullest corners. Liam found himself inspired. He began doing little things on his own, leaving a bottle of water for the mailman, fixing a broken fence in the park, or quietly giving coins to someone begging on the street. One rainy evening, Liam witnessed something that truly touched him. A homeless man was shivering under a tree, soaked by the rain. Liam wanted to help but felt unsure about what to do. Just then, Emma appeared with an umbrella, wrapping it around the man and giving him a dry coat. Ava offered her scarf as well. Liam watched in silence, moved by their selflessness. That night, he realized that true kindness was not about recognition or reward, it was about giving with no expectation in return. Feeling inspired, Liam began to spend more time with Emma and Ava, always careful to maintain his disguise. He joined them in small acts of service, delivering groceries to the elderly, helping clean the park, and volunteering at a local soup kitchen. Every gesture, no matter how small, made him feel alive in a way that his millions never had. One day, as they rested on a park bench, Ava looked at him with curiosity. "Why do you care so much about everyone, mister?" she asked. Liam smiled, feeling the weight of the question. He wanted to answer honestly but feared his secret would be exposed. Instead, he said, "Because helping others makes the world a better place, just like you two do." That night, Liam sat alone in his small rented room, thinking about the day. Emma and Ava had shown him a world that was so different from his own, one filled with honesty, warmth, and unconditional kindness. For the first time, Liam felt a sense of belonging, even though they didn't know who he truly was. His heart, which had been hardened by wealth and isolation, was beginning to open. He realized that this journey was more than just an experiment, it was a chance to discover who he could be without the masks of wealth and power. The simple gestures of a mother and her daughter had changed him in ways money never could. Liam knew that he was no longer just observing kindness, he was starting to live it. And with that realization, a spark of hope and transformation ignited inside him, guiding the path for the days to come. The days in the small town had begun to change Liam in ways he could never have imagined. Every morning, he woke up with a sense of purpose that had been absent from his life of wealth and luxury. He was no longer just a spectator, he was learning, growing, and discovering the true meaning of kindness. One morning, Liam followed Emma and Ava to the local market. As they walked, they noticed Mr. Thompson, an elderly man who owned a tiny flower shop, struggling to carry heavy sacks of soil. Without hesitation, Emma rushed to help him, while Ava carried a small bag of seeds she had picked up. Liam moved closer, wanting to assist, but hesitated, unsure of how to approach without revealing himself too much. Emma handed the soil to Liam with a warm smile. "Come on, you can help too," she said gently. Liam felt a wave of gratitude. It was a simple request, yet it made him feel included, valued, and human. The act was not just about carrying soil, it was about community, cooperation, and the joy of helping. Later that day, Liam watched as Emma and Ava entered the small home of Mrs. Peterson, a widow who had been ill for months. They carried homemade bread, fresh vegetables, and a few small gifts. Ava handed a doll to Mrs. Peterson's granddaughter, while Emma carefully set the food on the table. Liam saw the tears in Mrs. Peterson's eyes as she whispered her thanks. He realized that this simple act of generosity brought more happiness than any of his lavish parties ever could. Liam started to reflect on his own life. He remembered the boardrooms, the deals, the extravagant vacations, everything that once seemed so important. Yet none of it had brought him the satisfaction he felt watching Emma and Ava share what little they had. For the first time, Liam understood that wealth without compassion was hollow. True richness came from giving, loving, and connecting with others. In the evenings, Liam tried small gestures of kindness on his own. He fixed a broken swing in the park, left food for stray animals, and quietly helped neighbors with errands. Even though he did not seek recognition, he felt a sense of fulfillment that money had never given him. Each act of generosity made him more aware of the invisible threads that connected people, threads woven from empathy and care. One rainy afternoon, Liam found himself standing outside the small community center. He noticed a young boy, Jake, sitting alone with a scraped knee. Liam instinctively went to help, but just as he reached for the boy, Emma appeared with her umbrella and a warm blanket. "Don't worry, he's okay," she said softly, kneeling beside Jake to clean his wound. Ava offered the boy a small snack, and Liam watched silently, overwhelmed by the pure kindness radiating from them. It was not a grand gesture or a headline-worthy act, but it touched hearts in ways Liam had never experienced. Liam began to understand the lessons Emma and Ava lived every day. Kindness was patient, humble, and consistent. It did not need acknowledgement or reward. It came naturally, from the heart, and its impact could ripple through a community in ways that no wealth or influence could achieve. Liam felt a growing desire to embrace this philosophy fully, to become a man who could make a difference not through money, but through love and empathy. One evening, sitting on a quiet bench under the soft glow of a street lamp, Liam reflected on his journey so far. He realized that he had begun to change. The hollow man who had arrived in town seeking a mere adventure was now someone eager to learn, to grow, and to care deeply for others. Emma and Ava had unknowingly become his teachers, guiding him toward a life of purpose and genuine human connection. As he walked back to his small rented room, Liam felt a quiet joy blossoming inside him. He was no longer the lonely billionaire detached from reality. He was a man discovering the profound value of simple acts of kindness, of empathy, and of heartfelt generosity. Each day, he felt more connected to the world and to himself, understanding that the truest wealth was not counted in dollars, but in the love and care one gave to others. The journey was far from over, and Liam knew that the real test of his transformation was yet to come. But for now, he allowed himself to feel hope, to embrace the lessons learned from a mother and her daughter whose simple kindness had begun to reshape his heart and his life. As days turned into weeks, Liam felt a growing attachment to Emma and Ava. Their simple acts of kindness had slowly unraveled the walls he had built around himself. He wanted to be closer, to connect, but the secret of his true identity created a barrier he didn't know how to cross. One morning, Liam found himself walking alongside Emma and Ava to the town library. The sun shone warmly, and the streets buzzed with life. Liam felt nervous, unsure if he should speak more openly or continue observing from the sidelines. He wanted to contribute to their world but feared revealing too much too soon. Emma noticed Liam's hesitation. "You seem quiet today," she said, smiling gently. Liam hesitated, then said, I'm just thinking about how much work goes into helping everyone. Emma nodded knowingly. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Kindness makes life brighter for everyone. Liam felt a surge of admiration for her wisdom, and in that moment, he wished he could share his own feelings without exposing his secret. As they entered the library, Ava ran ahead, giggling as she picked out storybooks. Liam noticed a young boy struggling to reach a shelf. Without thinking, he reached out to help. Emma watched, a soft smile on her face, as Liam guided the boy and helped him select a book. The small gesture gave Liam a sense of pride he had never felt with his wealth. It was genuine, heartfelt, and satisfying. Over the next few days, Liam tried to engage more with Emma and Ava. He asked simple questions about their day, their favorite books, and their dreams. Emma responded warmly, and Ava's laughter filled the air, making Liam feel a sense of belonging he had never known. They shared stories over coffee, exchanged small jokes, and even worked together on a community garden project. Each interaction strengthened their bond, and Liam's heart felt lighter and fuller than it had in years. One afternoon, while helping to paint a fence in the park, Ava looked at Liam curiously. "Why do you always help, mister? You're not from here, are you?" Liam chuckled softly, feeling the weight of the question. "No, I'm not," he admitted. "I just like seeing people happy. It makes me feel good inside." Ava's innocent nod and Emma's approving glance warmed him deeply. He realized that honesty and vulnerability could be powerful, even if he could not yet reveal his full truth. Later that week, Liam noticed a young girl crying near the playground. Emma and Ava rushed over to comfort her, listening patiently as she explained her troubles. Liam felt an urge to help but didn't know how to approach. Emma, sensing his hesitation, whispered, "Sometimes, the simplest action is the kindest. Just be there." Liam followed her advice, sitting quietly beside the girl, offering a comforting presence. The girl smiled through her tears, and Liam felt an unfamiliar, profound joy. Being part of someone's healing, even in a small way, was worth more than all his wealth. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Liam, Emma, and Ava walked through the town square. Street lights flickered on, casting a golden glow over the cobblestones. Liam felt a sense of peace and belonging he had never imagined. He realized that connection was not about grand gestures or wealth, but about presence, care, and understanding. Despite his growing closeness, Liam still wrestled with the fear of revealing his secret. He worried that Emma and Ava might feel betrayed if they knew the truth. Yet, every shared laugh, every small act of kindness, drew him closer to them. He began to understand that trust, once built, could form the strongest bond of all. That night, Liam sat quietly in his room, reflecting on the day. He had helped a young girl, painted fences, and shared moments of genuine conversation. Each action had strengthened his connection with Emma and Ava and had subtly reshaped his heart. He realized that he was not just learning kindness, he was becoming part of a small, caring community that valued empathy above all else. As he drifted off to sleep, Liam felt a quiet hope stirring within him. The walls of his former life were slowly crumbling, replaced by something more meaningful. He did not yet know how or when he would reveal his true identity, but he was certain of one thing: his journey with Emma and Ava was changing him, guiding him toward a life of love, connection, and authentic human warmth. And for the first time in a long while, Liam felt truly alive. Liam had grown closer to Emma and Ava with each passing day, yet the secret of his true identity weighed heavily on him. He wanted to be honest, but he feared their reaction. What if they felt deceived? What if the trust he had built was shattered in a single moment? Despite his fear, he knew that sooner or later, the truth could not stay hidden. It happened on a bright Saturday morning. Liam had accompanied Emma and Ava to the town's weekly farmers' market. The streets were bustling with life, laughter, and the scent of fresh produce. Liam enjoyed the simplicity of it all, blending in and helping wherever he could, still careful to maintain his disguise. While helping Ava pick out some fruits, Liam accidentally dropped a small shopping bag. As he bent to retrieve it, a glint caught Emma's eye. A corner of a very expensive silk scarf peeked out of his bag. Emma's eyes widened, and a mixture of curiosity and suspicion crossed her face. "Liam," she said softly, holding up the scarf, This isn't from the market, is it? Liam felt his heart race. He knew the moment of truth had arrived. Emma, I need to tell you something, he began, struggling to find the right words. Emma's expression was unreadable, her grip on the scarf firm but not accusatory. He took a deep breath and explained everything, about his life as a billionaire, his loneliness, and his desire to experience true kindness. He spoke honestly, pouring his heart out, hoping they would understand. He admitted that his intention was never to deceive but to learn, to grow, and to discover the world through their perspective. Emma's eyes softened, but there was still a flicker of doubt. You could have told me from the start, she said, her voice calm but firm. Liam nodded, ashamed. I know. I was afraid. I didn't want to ruin what we had, the connection we built. But I realize now that honesty is the only way forward. Ava, who had been listening quietly, looked up with wide eyes. So you were pretending all this time? She asked, a mix of surprise and disappointment in her voice. Liam knelt down to her level. Yes, but only because I wanted to learn about kindness and love, things I never really understood before. I promise, my feelings are real now. Emma remained silent for a few moments, contemplating his words. Then she asked Liam a question that would become the true test of his transformation. If you really mean what you say, Liam, then show it. Help someone today, without expecting thanks or recognition. Prove that your kindness is real. Liam accepted the challenge without hesitation. That afternoon, he and Emma visited a small family struggling to make ends meet. Liam helped repair their roof and carried heavy supplies, all while Emma and Ava assisted with cleaning and organizing their modest home. He did not reveal his wealth or status, he simply offered his hands, his time, and his heart. As the day ended, Liam realized something profound. The joy he felt in helping this family was unlike anything his millions had ever provided. He had discovered the true power of kindness. It was not about money, appearances, or recognition. It was about empathy, action, and love. That evening, Emma approached Liam and smiled. You've passed the test, she said gently. Ava hugged him tightly, saying, I knew you were good, mister. Liam felt a wave of relief and gratitude wash over him. He had feared rejection, yet he had found acceptance and understanding. Sitting together on the porch of Emma's home, Liam reflected on the journey that had brought him here. He had started as a lonely man in disguise, seeking an experiment. But through the simple gestures of a mother and her daughter, he had discovered a world filled with compassion, honesty, and human connection. Liam knew that his life would never be the same. He had learned that true wealth was not measured in dollars but in the love, trust, and kindness one shared. Emma and Ava had shown him the way, guiding him toward a path of transformation, humility, and genuine happiness. As the stars began to twinkle in the evening sky, Liam felt a sense of peace he had never known. He was no longer an outsider looking in. He was part of something real, something meaningful. And for the first time in his life, he felt truly wealthy, rich in heart, spirit, and love. The morning sun filtered gently through the curtains as Liam woke, a sense of purpose filling his chest. The test Emma had given him yesterday had changed something deep inside. He had acted without expectation, without pride, and felt a joy he had never known in his life of wealth. Today, he was ready to live differently, to embrace a life guided by genuine care and love. Emma and Ava greeted him warmly, their smiles carrying the quiet approval of a test passed. Liam could see the trust in their eyes, a gift more valuable than any treasure he had ever possessed. Together, they planned a day of helping those in the town who needed support, from the elderly to struggling families, and even the stray animals that roamed the streets. Their first stop was the small home of the Martinez family. The roof had been leaking for months, and the family had no means to fix it. Liam worked tirelessly alongside Emma, carrying heavy tiles and reinforcing the beams. Ava assisted by handing him nails and tools, her energy and cheerfulness making the work lighter. The family watched in awe as strangers, with no obligation to help, poured their hearts into their home. Liam felt a warmth inside, a sense of purpose stronger than any deal he had ever closed in his business life. Next, they visited the community center, where a group of children gathered for a meal. Liam, Emma, and Ava helped serve the food, ensuring each child received a plate filled with care. As Liam served a young boy his meal, the child looked up and smiled brightly. In that moment, Liam understood the power of these simple gestures. He realized that a life spent giving, rather than taking, brought a richness beyond imagination. The day continued with acts of quiet kindness, repairing fences, distributing clothes, and helping neighbors with errands. Liam noticed something remarkable. The more he gave without expectation, the lighter and freer he felt. Money, he realized, had always been a barrier. It created walls and distance. By leaving it behind, even temporarily, he had discovered freedom, connection, and love. By evening, Liam, Emma, and Ava returned to her small home, tired but filled with fulfillment. They sat together on the porch, watching the sun sink behind the distant hills. Liam felt a profound gratitude for the lessons he had learned, for the patience of Emma, and for the innocence and wisdom of Ava. They had unknowingly guided him toward becoming a better man. Liam reflected on his journey, a billionaire who had lived in disguise, transformed by the simple kindness of a mother and her daughter. He had started seeking adventure and discovery, but he had found something deeper: love, empathy, and a purpose that could not be measured in money. His heart had been healed, reshaped by the warmth and generosity he witnessed daily. Emma turned to Liam and said softly, "You've changed, Liam. You're not the same man who arrived here. We're glad you stayed true to your heart." Ava jumped up, hugging him tightly. "I'm glad too. You're one of us now." Liam smiled, feeling a tear slip down his cheek. He realized that he had finally found his place in the world, not through wealth or status, but through love, kindness, and connection. The loneliness that had once haunted him had vanished, replaced by bonds that would last a lifetime. In the weeks that followed, Liam started a small foundation to help struggling families in the town. He kept his identity modest, allowing the focus to remain on the work, not his wealth. Every act of charity, every gesture of support, was guided by the lessons Emma and Ava had taught him, that true wealth comes from the heart. One evening, as Liam walked through the town square, he saw children playing, neighbors chatting, and families laughing together. He paused, feeling a deep contentment. The town, once just a place for his experiment, had become a home. A place where kindness ruled over greed, and love triumphed over loneliness. Sitting on a bench, watching the sky turn shades of orange and pink, Liam whispered to himself, "This is the life I was meant to live." The journey from a lonely billionaire to a man rich in heart was complete. Emma and Ava had not only shown him the power of kindness but had also healed the emptiness that money could never touch. As the stars began to twinkle above, Liam, Emma, and Ava stood together, hands joined, hearts aligned. It was a life changed, a heart healed, and a story of transformation that would linger in their lives forever. Liam had discovered the most valuable treasure of all, the love and warmth that come from giving, caring, and truly connecting with others.